Gurdjieff was a Russian Armenian spiritual teacher in the first half of the last century. And he grew up kind of a modernist in industrial age, and he realized that material seeking in the industrial age wasn't giving him what he was looking for. So he went on a spiritual quest, and he traveled all over Asia, Eastern Europe, Asia, the Middle East, and was seeking all the different spiritual traditions for some type of spiritual realization. And on his journey, somewhere in, if I'm not mistaken, Egypt, he met what came to be a very dear, close friend of his, and he was referred to as the Prince. He was a Russian prince who, I guess their family, they were nobility, so around the revolution they left, but he was still a prince, and they were seekers. This prince was a seeker, and him and Gurdjieff were both seeking. So they went and they spent several years together, visiting all these sitting at the feet of spiritual teachers, looking for the meaning of life. And one day he was sitting with his friend, the Russian prince, in a cafe, and a man walked in, walked in with this kind of psychic vision. He walked right up to the Russian prince, and he called him by a name that he had when he was a child that nobody really knew. And he said, I've been looking for you. You have to come with me. And, whatever that fateful meeting was, the prince knew that he was being called to a greater spiritual path. Something about the meeting. He knew that he had to follow this guy and go with them. So Gurdjieff grabbed his stuff. He was going to go, and the guy said, no, not you, just him. So they're very, very close brothers along the path. They had to say goodbye. And then Gurdjieff just kept going on by himself for several years afterwards, seeking, until finally his search took him to somewhere deep in the mountains, deep in the desert, deep in the mountains. It's a secret place. I was going to say it's probably somewhere between Kazakhstan and I don't know, but it's a secret place. He never told people where it was. And he came to a monastery, and a big gate, and he knocked on the door, and he went in, and he saw the teachings, and he saw the practices that we're doing, and he knew that he found the place. He found the place where he wanted to stay and practice. And he goes into one room, and who was there? The Russian prince. He was like, and they had this kind of meeting, and they were deeply, deeply close for, they spent several years traveling together. And then he said goodbye, and he thought he lost him forever. And he walked in, and there he is. And the prince got up and he said, well, I'm actually about to leave. I finished my work here. It's time for me to move on, and we have to say goodbye. And Gurdjieff's like, I just found you, and I just found this place, but the Russian prince assured him that he's come to the right place. And he said to him, and this is my whole point. This was his final words to his friend, and it was a beautiful movie. The movie called Meetings with Remarkable Men, which was made from a book. But these were the final words of the movie. The Russian prince says to Gurdjieff, he says, "You have finally found the place where the deepest desire of your heart can become the reality of your being. Stay here until you develop a force inside of you that is unshakable. Then, and this is the key part, then you have to go back home. You have to go back to the world where you will be met with forces that will constantly show you your place.